If you're doing these assignments in order, you should have just finished Isometric A right here, and I want to show you how to rename everything. So remember, the tab is a part studio, so I'm going to right click, rename Isometric A, and down here in the lower left, this is the actual part itself. And again, we'll talk later about the difference between a part studio and a part, but you want to rename your part appropriately as well. So Isometric A. It seems like just duplicating work, but they're actually different entities, as we'll see. So now we want to do Isometric B. So to make a new part studio, rather than make it inside this part studio, which we could, but let's keep things simple for now and make it in a new part studio or a new tab. So I click plus, create part studio, and it'll create a new tab right next to the old one. And let's rename this one Isometric B, Isometric B. And we can't yet rename the part because we haven't started the part. Let's look at what that part is and make it. If you come down here, you'll see it looks like this, and I think I have the same figure with the numbers on it. So there are a couple ways we can make this, actually many ways. Looking at the picture, it may seem like we should make 3 different rectangular prisms and somehow attach them, but there's an easier way that we can draw out the figure here in the front and then just extend these two parts a little further in the front. So unfortunately I can't write on this image with the mouse, but let's go ahead and do that, and I'll explain as I go. So first thing we want to do is make a sketch plane on the front origin plane. So I'll do that, and I want that origin plane to be perpendicular to my view. In other words, parallel with the screen of the computer. So I right click, view normal to sketch plane. And now I want to use the line tool to sort of draw out the figure. So I'm going to come along on the bottom for a distance of 2 plus 4 plus 2, or 8. And then I'm going to go up 3, back 2, up 4, over 4. No, up 3, right here, over 4. Okay, let's just do it. So again, what would that be? 8, 3, 3. Okay. I wish I could have the picture of it showing here. At any rate, if I click here and then start at the origin, which I generally want to do, and come over a distance 8 units, which is 80 millimeters, and then I go up a distance, I think it's 30. We'll change these if I get one wrong. There's 30. Then I go back 2, then up 4. So I'm going to come back 2 units, or 20 millimeters, and then up, I think it's 4 squares, or 40 millimeters, and I think it's back 40. I'll check these. I think it may be too tall there. And you see how I can move the mouse around and it'll snap to vertical? And I've got that little vertical line to the lower right of my cursor there, which says that I'm vertical. I can come down here and it'll catch up with the... Oh, no, it doesn't. Maybe if I come over there, you see how I can move the cursor over to this line and then gently move it over, and it'll make it the same length. So I don't have to put a 40 in there. So I'll click there and then click back over here, and again I can... There we go. And I'm drawing it out. So I've made a closed 2D shape. Right click, escape the line tool, and clean up the dimensions a little bit. And let's see if I got the dimensions correct. I think it's too tall here. I think this one should be 30. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is 3. So let me come back here and double click on here and change that to 3 squares, or 30. And I think that's okay. Now, so if I right click, let's see. No. Let me finish the sketch. Right click isometric, just so I can kind of see it in a better view when I extrude it out. Come over here to the extrude tool and click there. By default it comes toward me. Let's go in the other direction, so I can click this arrow here and it'll reverse it that way. And then the depth on that, I'm going to do 3, or 30 millimeters. And I'm going to accept that. So what I've done is draw this figure without these little 2-unit nubs that come off and go out from the front face. So now I need to make those. Okay, I don't need these origin planes anymore, front, right, and top, so I'm going to press P on the keyboard. And why not make it a little bigger and fit it to the screen, so I pressed F right there. Now I want to make two rectangles in the lower left and the lower right corner to bring them out 2 units here. So I'm going to place another sketch on the front face, sketch plane, right-click View Normal, come over here to the Rectangle tool. This will be easy because I can start at this point, left-click, come over here to this point, it'll find it, and left-click, and I don't need to put any dimensions on there because I use the corners to constrain my sketch. Same over here, like so. And as you can see, I've got these 2 rectangles there, and I can just extrude those out by 2 units. So I'm going to take that sketch, right-click Isometric. You can see the sketches are there. And then I'm going to extrude both of those a distance of 20. There. Press F to center it. This little dot right here is the origin, and I can turn that off if I don't need it. And I think that is the correct part. So I'm going to come over here to the parts list, right-click, rename, Isometric B. And now, here's a new thing. I can right-click and assign a material to this. So maybe we'll 3D print this. So let's put in plastic, a type of plastic. And let's put in ABS plastic. That'll give it a certain density. It doesn't really matter, but you'll notice when you determine the volume and the surface area, it tells you that you don't have a material defined for it. You might remember that. Okay, and we can also change the color. There's a couple ways to do this. I can right-click, edit appearance, and maybe I want this to be purple, and I can change it like that. Okay, let me scoot it over to the right, so when I get my screen capture, my name will be there. The part and isometric view, right-click isometric. Okay, it centers it, but I'm going to move it over a little. And even, I can make it smaller if I want using the scroll wheel. So if I click Display Mask Properties and then click on the part, it turns it yellow, whatever color it is. But it tells me that I have a volume of 132,000 square millimeters. So I hope that is correct. I made this correctly. And now I can get a screen capture if I want and have something like that, and I can turn that in. This little point right here is the center of mass. So that's kind of nice to have. We'll talk about that later. Okay, thanks for watching.